So in the early stage for rotator cuff rehab, we usually start with some easier exercises, but again, it depends on where you're at. Our goals here are really just to desensitize some of the tissue, get you used to moving again, and start to build up some tolerance and strength around the rotator cuff and the shoulder supporting muscles. So often, if you've had a shoulder injury before, you've probably done like banded rotator cuff exercises. Although a lot of those are good, and yes, we can start with some things like that, we really want to be able to progress beyond those quite quickly, because the rotator cuff does a lot more than just external rotation and internal rotation. It's really about stabilizing the shoulder throughout its movement, no matter what we're doing. In saying that, we can start sort of with the usual, external rotation type exercises where we lock that in place, because the rotator cuff muscles do create that external rotation force. So this is going to allow us to get some load into the infraspinatus, supraspinatus, and those types of things. But we do want to progress. There's even things like doing more isometric, so we can do an isometric punch with the rotator cuff in different variations. There's slight options that we can kind of incorporate. But ideally, we want to work on building you up and getting the tolerance moving more into normal ranges of motion. So we could start to add in simple shoulder ranges through scaption or front raises. Typically, for a lot of people, moving through more abduction, so out to the side, this can be a bit irritable. So starting with this sometimes isn't the best, but you just see how you go with it. For a lot, coming up into that position will be a bit pinchy, so we can start more in the frontal plane, in the front, moving across here, which is usually a bit more tolerated. And then, of course, we can add in some things where we have dynamic stability. So I like to use a bottoms-up press. If you've got kettlebells, great. We go in a bottom-up position, and we would just work on pressing from here, or doing things like a bit of stability. So circles, or figure eights, or write your name, something where we're just trying to stabilize that shoulder. And obviously you can progress the weight with how much more you need to be able to stimulate the shoulder. But this is a nice starting position. And it gives you a couple ideas of things that you can start with, at least early on, for the shoulder to start that rehab process.